Hey guys, what's up? It's Daniel Gerfinkel, founder and CEO of Lucky Credit, and I wanted to make this video so you guys can understand exactly how the free money that the banks give out works, right? How do these $100,000 0% interest Chase cards and all these other cards, how do they actually work? Is this too good to be true, or is this the best financial product ever created for creative business owners, entrepreneurs, and investors? So in this video, I'm going to go over how to borrow $100,000 to $300,000 at 0% interest annually forever without paying any interest, without high monthly payments, and without any impact to your personal credit score. I'm also going to go over a bunch of frequently asked questions like, is it really 0% interest? How does it work? What are the payment terms? Will this negatively affect my personal credit? What's the difference between personal and business credit cards? Is this process repeatable? And can you actually fly first class for free using the points that you get when you execute our strategies? I'm going to go into all of that, but first, I want to send a little message to business owners watching this that are probably operating their business on hard mode. If you're not utilizing a 0% interest business credit card strategy, you are leaving a ton of money on the table. If you're operating your business on hard mode by using personal credit cards or regular business credit cards with 30-day payback terms and interest, you're not getting the most of what the banks will offer you, really. If you have low limit 0% interest business credit cards, you just don't know the right strategy on how to get high limit, we can definitely help. If you have high interest rate business loans that eat into your profits, again, you're playing the game on hard mode. If you don't have enough capital to take advantage of all the opportunities and investments that you come across, again, you're making it so much more difficult for yourself, and it doesn't have to be that way. When you leverage our strategies, you can get 100 to 300,000 at 0% every year, right? You never have to miss another opportunity, deal, or investment because you don't have the money. You're not going to have high interest rates eating into your profits and eating into your bottom line, and your lenders make more money than you. I'm talking to my real estate people with their hard money guys that, basically eat all their profits. It's like you're working for someone else and you went into business to work for yourself, right? And you also won't have to deal with cash flow stress, if your business is seasonal or if you're getting paid by your clients on like net 90, net 60, even net 180. We've seen this completely alleviates the problems that arise with that, all while maintaining a high personal credit score. You can get cards like these, like this $40,000, $75,000, $90,000, $97,000, $57,000. All of these cards are just a small sliver of what we're able to get for our clients. But you have to understand how they work before we get into all that. Once you're approved for these cards, like how do these payments work? Will this fit into your business? I made this amortization table so you guys can see exactly how this works. So let's say you get $100,000 on a credit card for 12 months at 0% interest. How does that break down? The first month, let's say you spend $100,000. What is your minimum monthly payment? It's only going to be 1% of what you borrow. So you pay $1,000 down, your remaining balance is $99,000, and no interest is paid. No interest is paid during this entire 12-month period. For 12 months, to borrow $100,000, all you need to spend is $10,465, and it all goes towards principal. Your limit gets refreshed, so you can spend it again after you pay it down. And unlike another business loan, once you pay this off, you can still keep that credit line. You can actually refresh it and get it a new 0% credit line with an even higher limit because of the strategies that we know. So really what you have to know is if you borrow 100,000, you pay back 100,000. You only pay towards principal, and this is a revolving credit line, so you get to keep it for long term. Now, these are pretty similar to personal credit cards, but they're very, very different. Business credit cards will not impact your personal credit score if you use our strategy, but personal credit is very important for getting these cards. Major differences between personal and business cards is that the business cards will not report to your personal credit profile. You won't have a negative effect from using your business credit cards on your personal. And also, you can get rid of the inquiries that you get during our funding process so your personal score stays clean. And that way, you can repeat this every single year. So in order to get those cards, right? There's certain factors that have to be aligned in order for the banks to be comfortable lending you a large amount of 0% funding. And this is what we help our clients with. We make sure that they're optimized so they get the best possible result. It's really important that you follow all of this to make sure that you get the most, because it's free money. When you get a swing at the bat, you want to make sure you hit a home run. And that's what we help our clients do. That's how we get those high limits. So when we work together, we make sure your business is structured properly. We make sure your personal credit is optimized. We make sure that you have the right banking relationships and you're connected in the right way for the banks to be comfortable to extend very high limits to you. You also need to have, the right setup. If you already have business credit already, you need to make sure that it's properly taken care of so the banks see that you used it right and they'll give you more. The other things is making sure your revenue and your spending is set up properly for you to get the highest approvals. You can actually go to the bank with documents like credit card statements and bank statements through our connections and get immediate approvals for high limits, right? But you need to know how to do it. You can get high limits without docs, but if you have them, it'll absolutely be helpful. The way you apply is also really important. We don't apply online or in branch. We strictly go through our high level business bankers to make sure you get the best approvals, since they can actually authorize it. And even the state you're in affects your options, right? Approvals aren't really dependent on your business credit score, your DNB, your PayDax, or your other business trade lines. Like all of this stuff, if you have bad credit or this is not set up properly, you're not going to get approved, right? Those TikToks and those YouTube videos from years ago talking about, building up your PayDax and all that stuff doesn't fly in 2025, right? Another pretty common question we get from clients is, what if they can't pay off the cards in 12 months, right? So my answer to this, honestly, is ideally you should see an ROI after 12 months. If you're not getting a significant ROI on your investment, you may want to look at a different business. If you're looking at very, very long-term investments, this isn't the best solution, just to be straight up with you. As long as you're able to pay off a minimum of 50% of your balances, you're able to open new 0% cards and balance transfer for a 3 to 5% fee. This isn't ideal, as it may kind of limit your future funding results, but long story short, you can continue it if you can't pay it off. The other thing is we want to make sure you're ready for the next round, right? Prior to your 0% expiring, we're going to set you up with the right steps to make sure that your next funding round is even better. And the other thing is that even after it expires, you still have access to the credit, just like a regular credit card. As long as you pay it off, you won't have interest, but it just won't be at 0%. Our ideal strategy is we follow all of the steps. You follow our system so you can get 0% interest consistently year after year. Now, there's some industries where this isn't a good fit for, some where it's excellent. A lot of our, best clients come from real estate, typically house flipping and, BRRRR, where you can refinance and pull your money out. E-com, online retail businesses where you're selling a lot of products, you need to spend a lot of money to make money, fantastic. Construction, project-based work where you have upfront costs and you're waiting 30 to 90 days to get paid, perfect. Manufacturing, equipment, inventory, quick returns, beautiful. Medical businesses, medical professionals, educational, certification, all that stuff. This is great. IT as well. Anytime you want to implement expensive systems and you want to use other people's money to do so, 0% interest cards are great. And really any business where you can scale it using money, you're going to want to use free money for it. Like, why use your own money or why pay interest when you can have free money? There are some industries where this isn't the best, though. Just to be honest with you guys, we don't want to waste your time and we don't want ours wasted either. If you're in a business with a very slow ROI, you don't see an ROI after 12 months, this just straight up isn't a good solution for you. If you have a lean business where you don't need money, again, why take it out if you don't need it? In some situations, this does make sense, but if you're not going to use it, you don't really need it. It's good as an emergency fund, but it may not be worthwhile to work with us unless you're really, really interested in getting access to high limit funding. Buy and hold real estate, like I said, slow ROI, not great. Same with trucking. Again, these are just too slow to work really well for our system. And cannabis. banks don't like lending to, cannabis. You're probably familiar with this if you're in the business. Another question that gets asked pretty often is, what if I need cash, right? This money comes on a 0% interest credit card. That's great. But what if I need cash? So we have an in-house liquidation partner that converts your credit into cash, typically within about a week, business days, for a 6% fee. Since this counts as spend on your cards, you get bonuses, points, cash back, intro offers. So the effective cost really is 3 to 4% after the rewards, sometimes even lower. And we also offer business lines of credit, real estate finance, SBAs, and other financial products that can meet your cash needs. So if you need cash, don't fret. 0% will offer you that cash at even cheaper than most lines of credit. But if you need more serious amounts, absolutely, we can look into a lot of other options with you. Again, we're making you a custom, funding plan. And not just that, we'll also make a custom plan so you get the most bonuses when you actually get these cards. Not only will the banks lend to you at 0% interest, they'll pay you to borrow it. They'll pay you with these welcome offers that you guys probably, have seen, 750 back, 250, 750, 500, 200,000 points, right? Each funding round, our clients are typically getting $2,000 to $4,000 back in just bonuses and straight cash back, right? If we, factor that in with the extra spend bonuses and all this other stuff, and we couple it with travel hacking, now you are saving literally, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands per year by using these strategies. Quick example here. We have a flight, Boston to Rio de Janeiro, one-way business class ticket, $1,700, right? This is on Google through the Chase portal. You're still kind of getting scammed. You're taking an Avianca flight, which isn't even as good as United, and you're paying about $1,700, right? This doesn't make the most sense, guys, right? There's a better method. If you use our strategies, which we teach to all of our clients, you're able to book flights like this for 88,000 points, right? That's effectively $880. When you hit all these bonuses, it's actually even cheaper. So you're able to do amazing international first-class travel for effectively free, since you're getting all these points by just doing what you normally were doing in your business. So just so you guys have a quick recap of everything that we covered, you get 100 to 300,000 for 9 to 18 months at 0% interest. You only pay 1% per month, and it all goes towards principal. There isn't an impact to your personal credit score, and this will actually boost your credit score and keep it high if you've been using personal cards in the past. Again, this is repeatable. We can do this every single year if you follow our steps. Every year, you can get access to all of these benefits with just a couple phone calls. And you're going to be getting paid to use other people's money. When you have the system fully implemented in your business, you are going to be getting paid to operate your business. And it's all tax-free. So all of these benefits are fantastic. You probably have a couple other questions like, how much can I get? How soon? What type of guarantees are involved with this? And that's something that we cover one-on-one on our consulting calls. As you know, our plans are bespoke. They're completely custom for each client. So to get these answers, you're going to want to book a call with us so we can make sure that we give you the most accurate answers. I'm looking forward to speaking with you guys. We'll talk soon.